Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're at the Innsmouth Literary Festival 2025. I'm here at Dorset Bob's stall. It's going to be an amazing day. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Well, here we are. A look back at the Innsmouth Literary Festival. Saturday the 27th of September 2025, and it's a day or so later after the show itself and I've recovered. For me, it's a bit of a long journey. I come from Plymouth and I go and stay overnight at Dorset Bob's, and then we travel up from Dorset to London the next day, and then all the way back home for me Saturday night. So it was a big old journey, but the weather was fantastic, and the same as last year. Access to the festival is really easy, particularly if you're a dealer. So there's a car park right outside, and you just bring your trolleys in across one room, and there you are, all set up. And by the time we got there, which was about 9 o'clock, everything was ready for us to get going. And like a well-oiled machine, we were up and running within about 3/4 of an hour. And Bob had been working on his sort of Lovecraftian stock specific to take to the Innsmouth Literary Festival, because we did both attend it last year, and we weren't quite sure what to bring along then. So Bob has tailored what he's brought this time round, and on the whole it is predominantly horror or horror related, Lovecraftian, all the sorts of things that you would hope to find on a stall of its type. Lots of weird tales. You see those behind Bob's stall, and they certainly created a bit of a frenzy. There was some people buying those ones, even some of the very expensive ones. They are just so lovely and very rare. But yeah, so this is just going through Bob's stall. So we'll go around the entire dealer's room, and we'll see a bit of the opening ceremony. I've got a couple of short interviews with people as well who were there on the day. Unlike last year, where they had Charles Stross, who was obviously quite a big name author there, they didn't have a sort of more mainstream published author this time, but they had lots of authors who've got several books under their belt, shall we say, who often self-publish or publish with small press, and they were there as well. Some of them were launching books, some of them just meeting their fans, and here we go.
25. Thank you all for coming, especially those who've travelled a long way. A very long way in certain cases, from overseas. So yes, thank you very much again for that. We hope you have a great time. There's a very packed day ahead, then an equally packed evening, I think it's fair to say.
I would say yes.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Tim Mendes.
And I'm the other one, Rob Poyton. Marvellous. Good. I'm feeling loosening up already. Second one is the Innsmouth lunge. We inhale again on the count of 3. We lunge. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
And there was Rog just getting the crowd warmed up at the opening ceremony. There were people who weren't there right for the opening. They did sort of turn up as the day progressed. And both Bob and I did sort of think that it was a bit quieter than last year, and that may have been just down to the lack of a big name draw coming in, but there was still plenty to see. And yeah, Bob, I thought, brought along some fantastic stuff. I had one of those Conan books there from Robert E. Howard. I actually had the Robert E. Howard book of horror from that particular series. It's a really nice format to read those ones. And there were certainly some good bargains there. Those nice black hardbacks there were just £10 each, which is an absolute steal, really. But Bob also had some very beautiful limited edition titles, small press or private press titles related to Lovecraft from right around the world in exceptional condition, and he did sell some of those, plus some genre paperbacks, which we'll have a look at now. I said a little bit of science fiction's crept in, but not much. It's predominantly horror. He did bring along some of his gaming stuff, the TSR titles, because there is that element at Innsmouth. There is very much the gaming community are involved, and we'll see a bit of that once again a bit later on. But always good stuff there to enjoy. I didn't go too crazy because I'd only visited Bob about 3 weeks ago, at Bob's warehouse. If you're curious to see what else Bob has got, I do a warehouse tour, just a few videos back on the channel. And Bob does, of course, do mail orders. So if you are interested in anything that you see here, obviously come the end of the day, some of this is sold. But if you do see something else that you like, some of this he's got in multiples anyway, just drop Bob a line at mrbook451@outlook.com. And Bob does a mail order multiple times a week. He's sending parcels out right around the world. And he will look after you. Just drop him an email initially, see if he's still got it. He'll send back some photos, and then postage can be arranged. But yeah, he did have a really, really good stall. And it does look very nice when you pull it all together. There's one of those Century of. That's the Century of Creepy Stories. I think it's only £25 that. It's got a facsimile dust wrapper, but that's a very good price for that. I paid £25 for mine without a wrapper. So quite scarce, that. And recommended. But yeah, some good stuff there. Every aspect of Lovecraft's life has been studied in great detail. And now we'll start to move on to some of the other stalls. And I'll cover what was on display, and if they had a card or a poster or a postcard or something where you can follow it up, I will obviously try and focus in on that. There were some other stalls doing second hand as well. And it was quite a nice mixture of stuff. There's some comic book related items as well. I was taking my chance. The dealer's room tended to get a little bit quieter once an author was being interviewed on the main stage. So that's when I would nip out and do a bit of filming. Here is the end of one of the talks. So at the end of each thing, then the dealer's room would get busy. Yes, We Want the Gold. Fantasy Skirmish. Yeah, Rob Payton did this one. And I'm not sure if that's We Want the Gold or if it's his Escape from Innsmouth. I think it's the Escape from Innsmouth game. And we do capture some people playing that one later on. It looked really good fun. There's Bob's Wall of Weird Tales, of which he'd already sold a couple right off the bat. And there's Dave Britsky. He's another dealer who also supported the channel since we've been around, to be honest. And Dave found quite a lot of good stuff on Bob's stall. This is Origin Gaming, so they had some nice tabletop gaming related items, models, dice sets, which I always love. And other bits and pieces, loads of the figures. Origin Gaming. You see they did some of the bigger sets as well. They did some Dungeons and Dragons. They had all sorts there, some of the box sets. Nice little selection to get you started. Even some Warhammer stuff. Not much in the way of the CCGs, the card games, but there was a little bit of it there, but not much. It was more what I prefer, the tabletop stuff. Very good it was too. Here's another young artist selling her wares and jewellery as well. Very cool. Cool stickers in that. And once again, you can, I do zoom in so you can follow these people online and follow it up. Foss Arts, there we are. There's her details. Should you see something that you fancy, Some funky stickers there, that's for certain, and the nice badges as well, and jewellery. And some very funky mushrooms, which I think she said we've made like a polymer clay, some sort of artist clay, she said to me. Yeah, love those. The crocheted Innsmouth tentacled beast. And I think we saw these last year, the hats, just superb. They've all got names, you know. And we did see later on there was one of Bob's customers came around and she was actually wearing one. Very, very cool. Contingency, there we are. I think that's the details. But look at those hats, they're just great, aren't they? A lot of work's gone into those. And there we are, let's give you an idea of the prices. Yep, some role-playing books as well. All very cool. I wish I picked one up now. Now some more small press. And it's such a good way to get your work out there. There they are. The slab. Quirkier sorts of books. And yes, if you are a budding writer, getting yourself in print has never been easier. And I would always suggest doing something short. First of all, get yourself in a few anthologies till you find your feet. And then, well, take the dive. But there we are. I think it's the slabpress.com is the address you want. Clay Story Sculptor on YouTube. Look at these. That's superb. Very, very clever, these. Very, very detailed. They look amazing, don't they? Yeah, incredible detail in that. Good stuff. You can't bear to look. Helen Clare Gold. Helen wasn't actually on the stall when I visited, but she was there on the day and written quite the selection. There we are, if you want to get in touch. Zarduth.com. Once again, a lot of people were using this particular festival, literary festival, to launch their latest books. Hello, so well, thanks for having a chat with us today. Can you explain what you're all about?
Absolutely. So here at Edwardian Tales, we do storytellings, both online over the ether and live and in person. Sometimes live, but definitely in person. So we'll be doing a telling of From Beyond tonight as part of the Innsmouth Festival, but we are going on a Christmas tour all around the country, doing ghost stories for Christmas, and we'll be hitting quite a few different towns, telling a couple of stories from M.R. James and one from Marjorie Bowen to instill the seasonal spirits of dread.
Excellent. And your Master of Ceremonies, are you for
I am here
the
today,
festival?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm generally town crying, ringing a bell and summoning people out of the dark recesses so that they can come and join the panels and the like.
Fantastic, fantastic. And, well, I saw you at the show last year. Have you done all of them so far, have you?
So yes, I have been here at the festival each year. It's been an absolute pleasure to be along each time, the After Dark particularly, so yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so what happens at the After Dark? That's tonight then, yeah?
Yes, so the After Dark, there'll be a number of performances. We're going to be hosted by CJ Hooper, who is going to be drawing us together. We've got some Deadbolt films, we've got some musical sets as well, and as I say, I'll be telling From Beyond by Lovecraft himself, something truly Lovecraftian for the festival.
Oh, fantastic. And if people want to find out a bit more, or a bit more about the tour, see if they're coming to your town.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
Go to the
very
website,
welcome to
yeah.
find edwardiantales.com, and they can find out a little bit more about our tour, which will be kicking off in November. We'll be up at Whitby first of all for the Whitby Goth weekend.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to have a look at the...
From then on, we'll be rattling around the country.
Yeah, I'm just seeing where you are close to me. Exeter looks to be the closest. I'm in Plymouth, so...
yes, so
right,
Exeter will be the closest for...
I'll take one of these and I'll flash it up on the screen as we do. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having a chat with us today.
Very welcome.
Thanks.
Good day.
Yes, Edwardian Tales, fantastic stuff. And here's the store right next door. Mr. Onic Universe, I think is how you pronounce it. Join the expedition. And apparently these are modern photos taken in an old style, like using vintage equipment. They came out very, very well indeed. So yeah, Key of Dreams, all the details are there if you want to follow that up or are curious. And more budding young artists with their stickers and what have you. Tentacle lover indeed. Yeah, I had to do a bit of careful filming on a couple of these stalls, you know. This is a look at Tim Mendes's vast output. Innsmouth Book Club, which is the podcast that he does with Rob. And there he is. Very nice to meet you.
Indeed, pleasure.
I had no idea you'd written so many books.
Neither did I. They sneak out when I'm not looking.
Yeah. Well, is one new for the show today?
Yes, indeed. I will actually be doing a launch of that today.
Right.
It's a post-apocalyptic Lovecraftian horror.
Okay.
With a very British flavour. So if Mad Max was in Britain, it'd be a bit rubbish, right? It'd be mopeds and tractors instead of tricked out cars.
Road, probably, yeah.
It's a really hard book to actually... I had such trouble telling the publisher what it was because it doesn't fall into any sort of genre. It's very much an action, horror, comedy mashup kind of thing.
Yeah. Who is your publisher?
Erie River Publishing, based in Canada.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. And that's book one of a proposed trilogy. So I'm currently writing book 2 at the moment. So, yeah.
And is this your full-time job now?
Pretty much, yeah. This and the band is pretty much.
Yeah. And are you playing tonight?
No.
That was not you tonight.
No, our next gigs are the end of the month. We're playing Nottingham and then Whitby Goth weekend. But
you've been to all the festivals so far, haven't you? The Innsmouth ones.
Indeed. Well, I'm the co-founder with Rob.
Right.
Because
do you do their Facebook page and things like that?
Yes.
I've seen your name pop up quite a bit on there. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm also the co-host of the Innsmouth Book Club podcast and Strange Shadows with Rob.
Right, so, I see. Right. Oh, well,
that's how we ended up doing it because we have lots of time when the camera isn't rolling, when we're not recording, just talking and sort of like spitballing ideas. And we were moaning that America has all these wonderful things like Necronomicon and all this, and it was like, well, why can't we do something like that over here?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I know, it's a great place for authors to launch books, but getting a big name down is tough, isn't it?
It is. I mean, last year we had Charles Stross come down.
Yeah, which was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really nice.
Really
It was really nice to sort of chat with him and get to know him a little bit, which is really cool.
Do you know Steve Jones at all, Stephen Jones?
I don't.
See, we could introduce you. Bob and I know him really well. Bob's known him for decades. And if he could come along, he could probably bring Kim Newman as well, and maybe that would sort next year.
Now, I have met Kim Newman because a pub I used to work in Brighton, we had an upstairs like theatre-y bit.
Yeah.
And we had a film festival. Okay. And we got him in, because, you know, his horror critique books.
Yeah,
we got him in to talk about, like, Dracula and all that kind of stuff.
His specialty,
Yeah. Very funny man, very nice guy.
I think you could get Kim and Steve next year. I reckon that would be an option. We'll put you in touch if you like.
Yes, please do.
Absolutely, yeah. Because he's such a nice guy, and he's worked with everybody. I mean, literally everybody. He's like 70 now.
It's like he pops up on he always pops up on, like, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. And when you watch the special features, he pops up like talking about certain stories.
That's right,
and things like that, because he did a lot of critique, especially the Tom Baker era.
Oh right, so, that was his time, I suppose. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks very much for talking to us, Tim.
Not a problem.
Yeah, good to talk to Tim there for the first time. I didn't really chat to him last year, so it's good to catch up. And now back to some more stalls in the dealer's room. Yeah. Dark poetry. Precipice Publishing. Very nice. Stone Fable for further reading. I see they've got a Kickstarter on as well there. P.J. Blakey. These are horror novels, short horror stories. Certainly that's how I like to read my horror, in short bursts. And there we are. There's the details if you want to explore a bit further. Red Cape Publishing. Yeah, certainly the colouring book looked interesting. I like those little metal bookmarks as well. They're quite cool. And look at that, Crochet Creeps. More Knitted Delights, Dungeon Dunce. Excellent. So this uses the 5E gaming system. It's Lovecraft themed within that gaming system. 3 Sheets to the Wind. And once again, some very nice figures there. Moon Beast Games is where you'll find that online. Very cool. Yeah, some amazing figures there. Lovely stuff. And there they are. That's starting to get hold of them. Yep, and yet another interesting stall. Good stuff on here. If you have a look, the books aren't that expensive, really. You know, they really are very good value for money in a lot of cases. Certainly enough to take a risk Often the author's there to tell you a bit more about the book in question. I had to laugh at the unofficial and unauthorized Nicolas Cage puzzle book. Over 100 pages of puzzles inside. And these print pages were pretty good as well. So it looks like they've taken a page from an original book with the title at the top, and they've put an illustration over it and got them framed up. They came out really good. We'll have a look in a moment. You'll see one that they did for Jules, which I thought was excellent. Yeah, good stuff. Page from the book there. Home for the Weird and Speculative, the British Fantasy Society.org. So they had a table there, advertising Fantasy Con for next year, and also to join the Society. So they were doing some recruiting, and here is Dave Bretsky's and his partner's stall. The Occult Detective was one of their publications, and we do have a closer look at this one at the end because Dave did give me a copy. Looks really interesting, so I'm going to be giving that one a read, but we have got a bit more of a detailed flick through in just a minute. So various issues of the Occult Detective were there. Very cool. That's the latest one there, number 11. Yes, Cat Haven Press. There's some nice t-shirts done up as well. And then some of the other books published by Cat Haven. And fiction as well. That's the magazine. There we are. But yeah, very good. And there's a bit more information about the Occult Detective and Cat Haven Press. Another interesting store here with some had some cool comics on it. Comics of Occult and Occult. Satanic metal. Looking a bit like an EC. Very reminiscent of early Bron Talbot output to me. They look quite interesting. The Weird Fiction Quarterly, not come across that one before. Look pretty cool. A nice jacket on that one as well. There we are. boswellart.bigcartel.com. And here is the Escape from Innsmouth game in full swing now. I think Rob was hosting sessions on it and people seem to be having a great time. So, yeah, pretty cool that. I guess you had to escape the tentacles. So as you can see, there was really no shortage of stuff to buy at the show. Really good spread by the dealers. I thought they put on a good show. Nice tables, nice mix of stuff. Yeah, it's good. Recommended. It's the Rivers of London roleplay game, which is quite interesting. And this is in the sort of they had a separate room for tabletop gaming, people who wanted to have a go. So there was a few, every time I went by, there was a few games in progress, which is brilliant. And that's the local roleplay group, role-playing club, the Bedford Gladiators, who were there. Full-on dioramas. And then this is sort of in the author room. Some of the authors had their own tables set up because they've got so many books, like John Houlihan here. I mean, there must be 10 there. David Hambling. It was ironic that every time I went by the authors, they weren't actually there. Maybe I missed their panels, but there you go. David Hambling. As I said, you know, I've made a real effort to try and capture all the contact details for these people. So if you've seen something there, you can show them your support by following it up online and grabbing what you want. Simon Bleaken. Yeah, that biomechanic, certainly an interesting one there, based on the stories inspired by H.R. Geiger's art. How cool is that? Very, I would say. Wow. And here we are. This is sort of the last table now with the some comics on. Comics and really cool art. Abyssal Albion. Some nice little face huggers there, and Book of the Dead keyrings. What more could you want, eh? Steady on. And there we are, Bone Idol Comics, if you want to find them online. And then the last little store we looked at was this one, which Anna Smith Spark, and absolutely gorgeous books. Really, really nice sprayed edges. Very, very professional indeed, those. And not many left, eh? They did all right, those. Okay then, just to finish off the video, well, thank you very much, Innsmouth. It was fantastic being there with Dorset Bob. We had a really great time, made to feel very welcome, and the punters were fantastic. So thank you for everyone who came along and said hello. So here's once again a little look at the Edwardian Tales tour, which is coming up there. Ghost Stories for Christmas sounds a perfect time for that, with all the different dates there. And you can obviously just go to the edwardiantales.com/tour dates. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. Very, very easy to find out what's going on there if you fancy a bit of that. And also, while I was at the show, Dave Bretsky, we had a look at his stall. He did pass me a review copy of Occult Detective magazine, and this is number 11 from summer 2025. And I got to admit, it does indeed look quite intriguing, and I thought we'd just have a little flick through so you can see what it's like. It's basically works of fiction, but I think the introduction, if you've never come across this one before, probably sums it up quite nicely. So it says, welcome back to the world of Occult Detective magazine. Health and life in general may have delayed us, but we now have a great issue for you, our biggest yet, packed full of terrific fiction reviews. And for those of you who haven't been with us before, which is myself, it may be worth saying that ODM is not a place for endless pastiches and rewrites of tired tropes. Our mission is to stretch, fold, twist and mutilate the idea of the occult detective to show off the sheer breadth of the subgenre. We therefore espouse all manner of literary noir, folk horror, weird horror, pulp and parody fictions unashamedly. So, and then it lists all the sort of the individual stories contained within. And although I'm filming this just after I got given the copy, so I haven't had a chance to read it yet, it does look really, really good. It's really nice to hold in the hand. It's nicely illustrated throughout. I think it's going to be one that I'm going to enjoy. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. So thank you very much for that one, Dave. Much appreciated. So there we are. So if you've enjoyed today's look at the Innsmouth Literary Festival for 2025, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage convention action. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye.